So hello and welcome to the video on addition and subtraction of vectors and interpreting vector addition geometrically. Okay, so to get this video started we're going to look at a vector, and that is the vector A, which has the horizontal component 6 and the vertical component 7. So very quickly, why is A underlined? Well, when we write vectors we'd like them to be bold, so we know that they're vectors. So this isn't just A, just a normal letter that we use in algebra. We like to have them underlined so we know that they're vectors. Obviously we can't bold when we're writing down, so that's why we underline. Okay, so as I said, 6, so the top number is our horizontal component of the vector, and the bottom number, which is 7 here, is the vertical component of the vector. So the top is horizontal and the bottom is vertical. So we can then draw this vector, and we'll do that. So if we start at this point here, we go across 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we go up 7 units, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like that. Then we will just match these lines up. So like that. If I'll just rub that a little bit out there. So this is our vector A. So draw an arrow on top of that. So that's our vector A. So what we've done there is we've just drawn the vector that we had here. Okay, so now we're going to look at another vector, and that's B. So again, it's underlined because we want our reader to know that it's a vector and not just a normal letter. And this vector is 1, 3. So I'll draw this vector over here. So again, we go horizontally across 1 unit, so 1, and then we go up 3 units, so 1, 2, 3. So this comes out here. Again, I'll just draw that. So like so. So that's our vector B. Again, I'll put a little arrow on it so we know that it's a vector. And that's our vector B. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at adding these vectors together. So that will, written down algebraically, will be the vector A plus the vector B. Okay, then how do we add these vectors together? Well, we knew that A was the vector 6, 7, so we just write that down. So we just substitute in, essentially. And then we knew that B was 1, 3. So again, we'll just write that down. And then what we do is we add the horizontal components together, and we add the vertical components together. So basically what we're doing there is we add the top numbers and we add the bottom numbers. So in this case, 6 plus 1, well that's 7, and then 7 plus 3, well that's 10. So we get the vector 7, 10, like that. And what we can do is we can check our answer geometrically, i.e. drawing the vector. We can check to see whether our answer is correct. So we had these vectors like this, but we wanted A plus B. So what we've got to do is we've got to add B onto our vector A. So we've got to add this vector onto this one. So this little diagram we've drawn for the vector, we need to add to this one. Well, how do we do that? Well, we go to where A ends with this little arrows. We go across 1 unit because that was the horizontal component of B, and then we go up 3 units because that was the vertical component of B. So across 1 and then up 3. So 1, 2, 3. So B will end there. So I'll get my ruler. So it will look something like this. Again, draw my little arrow on. So that's now the vector B. So that's what A plus B looks like. Then, what we really want to know is, well, how do we check our answer? How do we know that this is 7, 10? Well, we start where A started, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, because we're going up to this point now. So it went across 7 units, and then we see how far we go up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and then we go up 10 units. Well, that was the answer that we got there. So when we add the vectors, we got 7, 10. But when we look at it geometrically, we know that we're going across 7 units and we go up 10. So from this point to this point, we go across 7 units and we go up 10. The other interesting thing is that we can draw this. So to do that, what we need to do is we take our point where A started, and then we draw a line up to where B ends. If I could just get the ruler to work for me there. So go from here, keep going, all the way up to where B ends. So this red line, so I'll redraw that in. So this line here that I've just drawn represents the vector A plus B. Like that. So what we can do there is, again, we can check. Well, to get from this point to this point, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because that will get us to this point. So we go 7 across and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units up. So it doesn't matter which way we go with this, it will still be right. But that red line, as I say, is the vector A plus B now. Because it starts from where A starts and it ends where B ends. So it's the vector A plus B. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at some more examples, and we're going to draw some more diagrams so we can really get a grasp of what we're doing here. Okay, so we're going to look at adding another set of vectors together. So this time we will go with the vector A, and that will be equal to 3, 4, like that. And we'll have a look at the vector B, and we'll say that that is 5, 2. So what we'll do is, again, draw these vectors, and then we'll add them and we'll check whether our answer is correct. So we'll start here for A. So A says to go across 3 units horizontally and then 4 units vertically up. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So A looks like this. So this is the vector A. And then we'll do B over here. In fact, actually, no, what we'll do is we'll do B onto A like this, because we're adding the vectors together, so we know that that's what we do. So B says to go across 5 units, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go up 2, so 1, 2. So this is the vector B here. So again, we'll draw that in. Like that. So that's our vector B. Like that. So what we'll do is we'll add them together, and then we'll have a look at our diagram. So A plus B, well, that's 3, 4 plus 5, 2. like that. So again, we add the horizontal components, so the tops, so 3 plus 5, well, that's 8. Then we add the bottoms, well, that's our vertical components, which is 4 plus 2, well, that's 6, like that. So the answer that we have geometrically, so drawn down, should go across 8 units and go up 6. Well, we'll check that. So we start here, because this is where I started, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so it goes to here. Well, that looks okay so far. And then does our overall vector go up 6? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it does. So it goes across 8 and it goes up 6. So again, we can draw this vector. So I'll change to red. So we can draw this vector here, no problem. So it starts there and it ends there. So our vector a plus b, which I've drawn in red, looks like this. That's a plus b. And we're going to have a look at some more examples of this now. So now we're going to have a look at, again, some different vectors. So we've got a, which is 4, 7. Then we've got b, which is 5, minus 4. So what we're going to have a look at here is where we don't go, especially with this b vector, where we're not going up 4 units. Instead we're going down because it's a minus. So again, we'll draw our vectors like we did before. So a starts here. So it goes across 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it goes up 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it goes up to there. So we'll draw that in. Like so. So this is the vector A. Then we'll have a look at B. So B goes across 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up to this point. And then it goes down 4 because it's minus. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So B ends there. So again, we can draw that. So we just draw it onto A. So it starts there and it ends here. So like that. So this is our vector B. And then what we'll do is we'll do the same as what we did last time. We'll add the vectors and then we will check to see whether our answer is right geometrically, so when it's drawn down. So A was 4, 7. Well, that's easy, we can do that. You've got 4, 7. Oops. And we're adding to that 5 minus 4. Like so. Well, again, we do the horizontal components, so it's 4 plus 5, well, that's 9. And then we've got 7 plus minus 4. Well, plus and a minus becomes a minus, so it's 7 minus 4, and that is, of course, 3. So we've got 9, 3. So again, we'll check to see whether this is correct. So A starts here, and we're going to where B ends. So A starts here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that seems okay. It goes across 9 units. And then we're going up 3. So 1, 2, 3. And that's fine as well. So again, we can draw the vector A plus B. So that's what we'll do here. So that will look like this. Draw it in red again. So it will look like that. So the red is the vector A plus B, like so. Okay, so I want to look at one more example on adding vectors and then drawing them geometrically, and then we'll have a look at some more examples for addition and subtraction later on, but this is the last example I want to look at where we draw them. So we've got the vector A, which is minus 9, 5. We've got the vector B, which is minus 2, minus 5. So what we'll do is we'll do what we've done before. We'll just start jumping in and drawing them. So start here. So A, well, that's minus 9 in the horizontal direction. Well, this is positive to the right, so we're going to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. And then we're going up 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why are we going up 5 units? Well, because it's a positive 5. So we can draw that vector like we have been. So that will look like this. So that's our vector A. And then we've got the vector B, which is minus 2, minus 5. So that starts from here. Well, we're going across minus 2 units. So that's to the left. So 1, 2. And then we're going down 5 units. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here. So this is where B ends. So again, we'll draw that. So we start from A. We'll come across here to B. So this is our vector B. So again, what we'll do is we'll complete the addition algebraically, and then we'll look at our answer. So A plus B well, A was minus 9, 5. So minus 9, 5 like that. And we're adding the vector B, minus 2, minus 5. Like this. Okay, so we've got minus 9 plus minus 2, because remember it's the tops that we do first, so the horizontal components. So minus 9 plus minus 2, well, plus cancels. So when we've got a plus and a minus, the plus cancels out, so we've got a minus. We've got minus 9, minus 2, well that's minus 11. And then we've got 5 plus minus 5. So yeah, a plus and a minus, well that becomes a minus, so 5 minus 5, well that's 0. So A plus B, so the vector A plus B, should be minus 11, 0. Let's check. Well, we started here, there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, we've moved 11 units to the left. So that seems to be alright. We haven't moved up or down. So that's right. That's represented by 0. So again, we can draw this vector. So I'll change to red. Get the ruler. So the red line now is our vector A plus B, like that. So that's our vector A plus B. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at some more additions, and we're also going to have a look at some subtraction of vectors now. But we're not going to draw those geometrically. That's the end of drawing vectors geometrically. Part of the video is just going to focus on adding and subtracting vectors just algebraically, so we're not drawing any diagrams here. So we've got the vector A, which is 6, 4, and the vector B, which is 2, 3, and then we've got these 3 questions to work out. So question 1 is A plus B, question 2 is A minus B, and question 3 is B minus A. So we'll jump straight in. So for question 1, we've got A plus B. Well, that's really easy, that's just what we've been doing. So that's 6, 4, and we're adding 2, 3 to that. It's a really dodgy 3, like that. So we know that we add the top, so the horizontal component, so 6 plus 2 is 8, and then we add, because we're adding the vertical components, so the bottoms, so 4 plus 3, well that's 7. So A plus B here is the vector 8, 7. So that's really easy, that's just what we've been doing. So now we've got question 2, A minus B. So again, same thing, we write our vectors in place of the letters. So we've got 6, 4, that's minus 2, 3. Well, considering just when we were adding, we added the horizontal components and added the vertical components to get a new vector. We're going to be doing the same thing here, however we'll be subtracting. So we do 6 minus 2, which is 4. Then we do 4 minus 3, which is 1. Like that. So we subtracted our horizontal components and subtracted our vertical components. And then question 3, we've got B minus A. So that is, well, B was 2, 3. So we write that here. And we're taking away 6, 4, so the vector A. So again, it's the same as what we've just been doing in question 2. We take our horizontal components away, so 2 minus 6, well, that's minus 4. And then we've got 3 minus 4, which is minus 1. So our vector B minus A is minus 4, minus 1. Example, we now have the vector A, which is minus 8, 3, and then we have the vector B, which is minus 1, minus 5. So we'll do question 1. So A plus B, well, that is minus 8, 3, and we're adding to that minus 1, minus 5. 8 plus minus 1, well, a plus and a minus is a minus, so minus 8 minus 1, which is minus 9. And we've got 3 plus minus 5, again, plus and a minus is a minus, so it's 3 minus 5, which is minus 2. So A plus B here is the vector minus 9, minus 2. Question 2 is A minus B. So that's minus 8, 3 for A, and then we're taking away minus 1, minus 5. So we've got to be really careful here because we've got minuses for our vertical and horizontal components of B, and we've also got a minus. So we've got minus 8 minus minus 1. Well, minus and a minus is a positive, so that it works the same with vectors. We've got minus 8 plus 1, that's minus 7. And we've got 3 minus minus 5, so that becomes 3 plus 5, which is 8. And then for question 3, we've got B minus A, well, that's minus 1, minus 5. And we're taking minus 8, 3 from that. So again, we've got to be really careful because we've got a minus and then a minus in here. If you've got minus 1 minus minus 8, well, that becomes minus 1 plus 8, and that is 7. And then we've got minus 5 minus 3, which is minus 8, like so. The last example of the video. So we've looked at adding and subtracting 2 vectors, but we can also add and subtract 3, 4, 5, however many vectors we like. So that's what we'll do now. So we've got the vector A, which is 4, 3, the vector B, which is 5, 2, and the vector C, which is 2, minus 1. So in question 1, we've got A plus B plus C. Well, A was 4, 3. B was 5, 2. Like that. And C was 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1, like that. Okay, and we just need to work that out. You can just jump straight in and add all of the tops together and all of the bottoms together. So adding all the horizontal components together and adding all the vertical components together. However, if you're doing this in an exam or a test or a mock exam, I would recommend doing them in steps or in stages. So we can add these first two vectors together, then add the vector on at the end. Or we could add these two vectors and add that on. But what we'll do is we'll just work from left to right. So, working out the first two vectors, that's 4 plus 5, which is 9, and then 3 plus 2, which is 5, like that. And then we're adding 2 minus 1 onto that. So, that's no different to what we did just. It's 9 plus 2, which is 11, and then 5 plus minus 1, well that's 5 minus 1, which is 4. So A plus B plus C is 11, 4. Okay, so question 2, we've got A minus B plus C. Well, that's 4, 3 minus 5, 2 plus 2 minus 1, like that. So again, I'll work this out in stages. So I'll do the first two vectors. So that's 4 minus 5, which is minus 1. And then 3 minus 2, which is 1. And then we're adding to that 2 minus 1. And again, that's no different to anything we've done previously in the video. So that's minus 1 plus 2. Well, that's 1. And then 1 plus minus 1, well that's the same as saying 1 minus 1, so 0. So our vector A minus B plus C is 1, 0. Question 3, C minus B plus A. So C is 2 minus 1, and then we're taking away the vector B, which is 5, 2. And then we're adding to that 4, 3, so the vector A. Again, I'll work this out in stages to break it down. So 2 minus 5, well that's minus 3. Then we've got minus 1 minus 2, which again is minus 3. And then we're adding on 4, 3 to that. So minus 3 plus 4, well that is 1, and then minus 3 plus 3, that's 0. And then question 4 is the vector A plus B minus C. Well, A is 4, 3. And we're adding the vector B, which is 5, 2. Then we're taking away C, which is 2 minus 1. Like that. So again, I'll do it in stages. So 4 plus 5, well that's 9. And 3 plus 2 is 5. And then we're taking away from that the vector C, which was 2 minus 1. So again, we've got to be careful here because we've got two negatives. So we'll work out the horizontal components first. That's 9 minus 2, which is 7. And we've got 5 minus minus 1, well, that will become a plus, so it's 5 plus 1, which is 6. So we get the vector 7, 6. So that's the end of the video. What have we covered in this video? Well, we've looked at adding vectors together and interpreting vector addition geometrically, i.e. drawing the vectors and then drawing the vector overall for the addition, if that makes sense. And then we've also had a look at some subtraction of vectors, and then we took it up a level in this last part of the video to look at adding and subtracting with 3 vectors.